Hello guys, and welcome back to Championship predictions for the weekend. We are doing this one day earlier than usual because I've got Premier League predictions coming tomorrow, and I've also got to meet up with Benjamin Bloom again for League One predictions. It's a busy week. Anyway, we're predicting the weekend's games. How are you, Sophie? And set us a like target.
Yeah, I'm well, thank you. And let's go for 2,400 likes.
I like that. I really do.
Random one.
Let's do it. Guys, do be sure to get involved. It takes 2 seconds, and while you are there, feel free to subscribe as well. We're actually very close to 90,000 subscribers now, so do get involved if you haven't already. These are the scores from last time, by the way. Sophie, you just beat me 6-5. You've just narrowly closed the gap by 1 more point, but
Okay.
slow but steady.
Yeah, wins the race. Long season.
And I will quickly mention that there is a game tonight between Portsmouth and Millwall, but we did predict that at the end of the last video, where I said 2-1 Portsmouth and Sophie said 3-0 Portsmouth. We'll see if that plays out. On to the predictions for the weekend, Sophie, and we start with a Friday night Lancashire derby, Blackburn Rovers versus Preston. So Preston, another good win for them. They're moving along nicely. Blackburn Rovers, of course, lost again. They lost to Bristol City this time, and a little bit concerned for Blackburn. They're doing that thing again where they fall away after Christmas.
Yeah, I was going to say like the January slump. I mean, you'd expect them to turn it around at some point because they have been playing some nice football by recent weeks, but I don't know right now. I think this one's got a draw written all over it though.
Possibly, yeah, possibly. What I will say is I don't think I see Preston losing. I think it'll be a draw or Preston will win. Sorry, Blackburn. I just don't fancy Blackburn at the moment. The results are not good. The form's not good. Obviously, players are missing. And Preston, like I say, they've beaten Watford, they've beaten Borough. They were helped out by some comical defending from Luke Ayling. But
Dreadful.
I reckon, wouldn't it be... Well, it would be maybe controversial and quite a story if Osmajic was to score in this game after he bit Beck, the Blackburn player. I'm going to go Blackburn 1, Preston 2.
Oh, okay, so you are picking a winner. I think Blackburn need to stop this losing run that they're on at the moment and just plug it with a draw at home. It's not the worst result in the world because Preston are a solid Championship team, but I can see why you've thought right now either a draw or leaning towards Preston, but I'll go different and I'll back the draw, 1-1.
You're going for the 1-1 draw.
Yeah.
Sitting on the fence. Right, on to the next game, Sophie. Are we calling this a Liam Manning derby as Oxford United take on Bristol City? Interesting, isn't it? Oxford United going like a train, aren't they? Doing the locomotion, moving up the table in some fine form.
Heading for promotion.
Heading for promotion, yeah. Honestly, they're flying. I can't see them going down right now.
No.
They'd have to do really badly to get sucked into trouble. As for Bristol City, they're still around the playoff picture. Obviously, they drew with Sheffield Wednesday in midweek last week, and then they've just beaten Blackburn. I'm not sure. Could be a draw.
Yeah, I think so.
But I'm going to back the Oxford train to keep chugging along, and let's go for a bonus point. 3-2.
Oh, okay, so we're going fairly similar because I'm going to back a Desmond. So I'm sitting on the fence again, saying a 2-2 draw. I think Bristol City at home, they can be a very difficult team to beat. But Oxford right now, as we've mentioned, they're in very good form. No risk for me of them going down. They're just doing too well. So I think a draw away from home would be a good result. And I think there could be some goals. So, Desmond.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Both going goals there.
Yeah, why not? It sounds like fun. Could be a decent game. Share your thoughts. The next one, Sophie, is at Home Park. Plymouth Argyle take on West Bromwich Albion. Got to give both of them credit for their results last week. First of all, Plymouth Argyle.
Massive result.
We need to give them a public apology because we had a 4-0 and a 5-0 Plymouth prediction. What I will say is sorry, but I think Plymouth fans were probably thinking the same way we were going into that game because no one gave them a prayer. But they got out of there with a 2-2 draw and a last-minute equaliser.
Yeah.
But it has to be built upon. Plymouth just seem to pull out one result every 3 or 4 games, but that's not good enough. If they win this, then I might start believing, okay, they might do it. But it's a difficult assignment. West Brom just won 5-1 against Portsmouth. Tony Mowbray is back in the house, and I've got to fancy the team that have had the better season, surely?
Yep, I am.
Plymouth 1, West Brom 2.
Yeah, the reason why I'm not going to apologise too much is because I'm going to back you to lose again. So I almost feel like saying sorry and then just backing you to lose again. So I will give credit where credit's due and say that was a great result on the road against Sunderland, who are a top team. So to walk away and to snatch that draw, great result, and especially for the fans as well. We've just seen West Brom completely dispatch of Portsmouth, which you can expect that sometimes from Tony Mowbray teams. 2-0 West Brom for me.
Yeah, 2-0.
Yeah.
Go for the clean sheet. Yeah, do share your thoughts on that one. Plymouth Argyle fans, got to hope that you can put two results together. As for West Brom, can they solidify a playoff place maybe? On to the next one, Sophie. We go to Vicarage Road. Watford take on Norwich City. Watford, we saw them at Coventry. They lost 2-1. I thought they were pretty good towards the end of the game, and what I really liked was the fans and their support for Tom Cleverley.
Yeah, I think the best thing about them when they came up against Coventry was the fans. The performance didn't match it so much on the pitch, but I thought the fans, they travelled in numbers, they were very loud, and they showed their support for Tom Cleverley, so I rate them highly for that. As I mentioned, the performance doesn't really match it. You can see that they need to make a few more signings, and yeah, they grew into the game towards the end, but I just didn't think they were very good at all, to be honest.
No, their form's been a bit spotty, but as you just mentioned, glad to see the Watford fans getting behind Tom Cleverley, because that club has been a bit of a circus, hasn't it? It's had a revolving door for managers, and I like Tom Cleverley, and give them credit, Sophie. Before the season started, a lot of people thought Watford might struggle, so they've had a good season, but can they get going again? Can they get that form at its best again? They were good at home, Sophie, but the home form dried up a bit.
Yeah.
And they take on Norwich, who've just scored 5 against Swansea, and Josh Sargent is back.
He's back. That's the key thing, I think.
I mean, I don't want to say they're over-reliant on two players, but Borja Sainz and Josh Sargent are two very good players that can make the difference, aren't they? Do you know what? Let's give Watford a draw. 1-1.
Okay. I mean, that could happen. I just feel like right now Norwich have got to be the favourites going into this one. So 3-1 Norwich.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think it could be not a routine away win, but I think it could be a good away win, and I can see there being a couple of goals actually. So yeah.
Josh Sargent.
Yeah, probably get a brace at least.
Yeah, he's so good, isn't he? On to the next game, Sophie. This one feels very one-sided as we go to Derby County versus Sheffield United. First of all, we need to mention that Sheffield United slipped up when we least expected it against Hull City. So maybe I shouldn't get too carried away thinking Sheffield United are guaranteed to win this. But
yeah, I don't think they are guaranteed to win this, really.
But come on, Derby are absolutely dreadful. I think Derby just needs some kind of injection of positivity from nowhere. And if that means changing the manager, getting a new manager bounced, then maybe. But I like Paul Warne, but I just think when I watched them, you're rubbish.
Yeah.
But Sheffield United were rubbish against Hull. I think they're more likely to bounce back. Chris Wilder's going to get into them, isn't he? 2-0 to the Blades.
Yeah, I'm going 2-0 as well. I think they need a clean sheet because defensively they've not looked very good. And I almost get a little bit bored of hearing Chris Wilder's comments about look at how many injuries we've got. When you actually look at the list, Hull had more injuries than Sheffield United. And equally, if you're that worried about your defence, why are you signing a striker for 13 mil including add-ons? That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, they've just brought Tom Cannon and Ben Brereton Diaz through the door as well.
Exactly. So you're worried about your defence, so what's your plan to outscore teams? Couldn't even put one past Hull. You've already mentioned that Derby aren't doing very well at all right now, so surely Wilder needs to get them up for this. Should be pretty routine. But I thought that against Hull and that didn't pay off, so yeah, I'm sticking with the 2-0 as well.
2-0. Do share your thoughts, guys. I would imagine Sheffield United fans were very frustrated on Friday, but come Monday, when they saw that Sunderland hadn't won, Leeds and Burnley hadn't won,
it's not too bad.
It's like a sigh of relief, isn't it? And if you're a Derby fan, do share your thoughts. I just think I'm a bit concerned. I'm happy to be proven wrong, but I'm getting a bit worried now by Derby. The next game, Sophie, is at Hull City. They take on Stoke City. I mean, Hull, we were just speaking about them. What a great win at Sheffield United.
Full back to back, I reckon.
Full credit to them. Yeah, I think I've got to back Hull.
Yeah.
They're starting to do some business, and you think, hang on a minute.
Oh, they always do business. Remember that stat I told you? They're averaging like eight signings per window. It's crazy.
They've got an ambitious owner. I know he replaced Rosina, and that never really worked. But you can see them pulling away from the bottom end of the table.
Should do, yeah.
As for Stoke, I think, I'll keep going back to the fact that I said to the Stoke fans, with Mark Robins, you might have to be patient to see success, but he does need to get a win soon because the results aren't great. And I think Hull are going to win 2-1.
2-0. I've changed it on the spot just because I think they've put 3 past Sheffield United. Surely they could put 2 past Stoke. They're at home. Their confidence should be sky high, and then they're coming up against a team that are low on confidence. Yeah, and then what we've seen in Mark Robbins' interviews after the game so far wouldn't really fill me with confidence right now as a Stoke player because he looks deflated already. I know it's a massive job on his hands and he's aware of that, but I don't know, you almost feel like, is he the right man to keep them up, or is he the right man to maybe get relegated and then rebuild? I mean, no one really wants that, but I think he would be the man for that job. Yeah, 2-0 Hull.
Yeah.
I know Stoke are linked with a few players, so if they can get them in the door, that's a very different season. But right now, looking at that squad, I'm like, they could well get relegated.
They could. They certainly could. Yeah, there's plenty of teams still involved down at the bottom. Let's go on to the next game, Sophie. Leeds United take on Cardiff City. Let's talk about Monday's 0-0 draw between Leeds and Burnley.
Oh, do we have to?
Was it quite a predictable goalless draw? Because, well, first of all, Burnley don't score many.
True.
And they've had a few clean sheets and 0-0 draws. But I was thinking, after seeing Sunderland and Sheffield United's results, I thought, do these two just think, so long as we don't lose?
See out the draw?
Yeah, I did.
It almost seemed like that. Like, should we just play out a 0-0?
It was a bit safe, wasn't it?
Very, very safe, yeah.
No one took a gamble, but...
I'd say maybe Leeds slightly more so, but overall, dull game.
Leeds were pressing more, you mean?
Yes, yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, sometimes to get promoted, you have to be pragmatic and know when to take a draw.
True.
I think Leeds will go back to winning ways, but Cardiff City have certainly improved. They won again last week, 2-1 against Derby. Let's go Leeds 2, Cardiff 1.
I'll go 2-0 Leeds. I don't feel like there needs to be a reaction with that game against Burnley because it's a draw away from home. It's fine. It's against a very good opposition, but I don't think Cardiff are going to make it easy. I just think when Leeds turn the screw, they're a very, very good team. And I think this game, we're going to see that. After that 0-0, you might think, could they maybe draw again against Cardiff? Possibly, but I'm not going to back it. I'm going to say Leeds 2-0. I think they will get on the score sheet this time. Yeah,
and Leeds United fans, your next game after this is away at Coventry. I'll see you there. Looking forward to that one. The next one, Sophie, is at the Den. Millwall take on QPR. It's a London derby. Millwall with a really good win at Luton, just to sort of put a buffer between them and the bottom 3, because they hadn't been in great form, but it was a good sort of Alex Neil result.
Yeah, it was.
They take on QPR, who have been in fine form, but that was ended by Sheffield Wednesday, a 2-0 defeat.
Did not see that coming.
I didn't, to be fair. Fair play to Sheffield Wednesday. Can QPR dust themselves down, or will it take them a game or two to get going? Do you know what? Let's go for Millwall. I haven't backed them much recently. Let's go for Millwall back-to-back wins. 1-0.
See, I know QPR let us down at the weekend, but I feel like if I was to go double chance, it'd be draw or QPR win. 1-1. I'm playing it safe now. I was half tempted to say 2-1 to the R's, but do you know what? I think Millwall, they showed real character to grind out that 3 points against Luton, and I think they could grind out a point against QPR.
Okay.
So 1-1.
There you go. Do share your thoughts down below on that one. We're going 1-0 and 1-1. The next game, Sophie, is an interesting one. We go to Fratton Park as Portsmouth take on Burnley. As we just mentioned, we have both backed Portsmouth to win at home in midweek to Millwall, but at home to Burnley is a different kind of game because Burnley love clean sheets. That said, I mean, Portsmouth love scoring 3s and 4s at home.
Yeah.
But Burnley have conceded about 3 goals all season. Honestly, their defence is ridiculous. Yeah. That's sarcasm, by the way. I think they've conceded 9. It's something like 9.
Yeah, it's still ridiculously low.
That's mental. I've got to back them to get a clean sheet. I think Burnley might just snatch it, you know.
Oh.
Portsmouth 0, Burnley 1.
See, I'm half tempted to say 0-0, to be honest, because we know Burnley like the 0-0 draws. I think it could be Portsmouth 1-0.
What?
Yeah, I think Portsmouth at home could beat Burnley. They could do what Leeds didn't do away. I think, I'm going to back Portsmouth to just sneak one past them. 1-0.
That'd be a statement, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I think Portsmouth will be looking for some revenge because, if I remember correctly, Burnley beat them in like the last minute at Turf Moor. So, yeah, we'll see. The next game, Sophie, is at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday take on Luton Town. Luton, I'm concerned. I'm worried. Another defeat at home to Millwall this time.
I think this could be heavy,
And no, I'm not sure. Luton are pretty dreadful away from home. They've not been much better at home recently, but away from home they just keep losing. And Sheffield Wednesday, what a good win at QPR.
Clean sheet as well.
2-0 away win. That's a really good job they've done there. I fancy Sheffield Wednesday. I don't think Luton will embarrass themselves. I just think they can't seem to get anything over the line. But they'll try. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Luton 1.
Oh, so I'm going 3-0 Sheffield Wednesday. I think Sheffield Wednesday are going to punish them because Luton, they look low on confidence. Sometimes when they're playing, you're like, what are you doing? Like, what is going on with this team? Because they aren't a bad team, but they're playing dreadfully sometimes. So I think Wednesday on their day, if they turn up like they did against QPR, 3-0 Wednesday.
Wow.
A little bit different there.
That is bold, isn't it? Mm. Can they make the playoffs?
Not Wednesday. I think there's so many teams that you say they could make the playoffs, but
we'll see. On to the next game, Sophie. Let's see if Coventry City can make the playoffs. We are away at Swansea City.
We never do well there.
Let's try and look at this from both directions. A lot of people, particularly Coventry fans, are making lots of noise about Swansea's form. Losing 3-0 to Cardiff, 5-1 to Norwich, 3-0 to Southampton. They've had a few heavy defeats. I will mention that they are missing Harry Darling.
They might be missing Grimes as well.
And that's another interesting dynamic.
Fingers crossed.
It's a really interesting one, that, isn't it? Matt Grimes linked from Swansea to Coventry on the same week we played them.
He's coming on the coach back with us, I think.
But this is where I think people are getting a bit too confident. Coventry have been much better recently. 3 wins in 3 is fantastic, but everyone now is all of a sudden saying
home as well.
we're going to win at Swansea when we've not won there in like 75 years. I will believe it when I see it. I'm going to be cautious. I'm not saying we can't do it. I'm just going to say I'll believe it when I see it. But I'm going to go 1-1. I just think Swansea are going to need a reaction. And I'll go for a draw.
Yeah, see, I feel like sometimes you're more realistic and I'm more optimistic when it comes to our team. So I'm going to back us to win 2-1. I think Frank is the man to end the winning drought at Swansea, and I'm just hoping that we'll somehow grind out the win, because that would be a statement, to be honest. Not just because it'll be like 4 wins out of 4, but because we never beat Swansea at their place. And you never know, it might be the season where we beat Preston as well. And then I really will be believing in Frank taking us up to the Premier League. But yeah, right now I'm backing us to win 2-1, but that's definitely because of my sky blue bias.
No, I like it though, and Coventry have been good lately. Dovin's been really good. Jamie Allen's got an engine on him. Victor Torp with some goals last week. It feels like things are just moving in the right direction, and we're not even at full tilt yet. We've not even got all of our best players yet. Do share your thoughts if you're a Swansea or Coventry fan. Myself and Sophie are actually in Nottingham over the weekend, but I think we're going to be back in time for maybe the second half. So if you want to see a second half stream, let me know. The final game, Sophie, is at the Riverside. It's Middlesbrough versus Sunderland. A big game on Sunday, a big match in the playoff race. Well, I say the playoff race, Sunderland are in the playoffs, but they're actually trying to chase down the top 2.
Yeah.
They'll be kicking themselves after letting 2 points get away from them against Plymouth. But Middlesbrough, I mean, they'll be kicking themselves because what did they do against Preston? They forgot how to defend.
True.
I don't know what to say for this game. They're 2 good teams. On their day, I could see either of them beating the other. I'm just going to play it safe with a 1-1.
Yeah, I'm playing it safe, and I'm also saying 1-1 because I really don't know how this game's going to go. On both of their days, they're capable of winning this game, but right now they're not in the best of form, so that's why I see a draw playing out. So 1-1.
1-1. Yeah, Middlesbrough just, I don't know. You feel like with the players they've got, And the way they can play, they should be more secure in the playoffs. But they're giving everyone else a chance because they drop silly points. And as for Sunderland, can they still make the top 2? I think it's still possible, but they need to have better results than that Plymouth one. Anyway, do share your thoughts down in the comments, guys. That's our predictions for the games coming this weekend. Be sure to support us by hitting the like button. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. We're that close to 90,000 subscribers, and genuinely a massive thank you to all of you for your support this season. We will be back with Premier League predictions tomorrow. I'll see you there, Sophie.
See you there.
Take care. Peace out.